Okay, everyone, my name is Andrew Hawley. I'm the immigration attorney. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in to watch this. I'm sorry, but the last video that I tried to do on Facebook Live was a little overexposed, too bright, but the audio was good. Rather than put my mom through another translating session with me, I'm just going to do this one in English, and if you guys want to know about the news from San Francisco today, I'm going to post about it in Spanish and as well as English on my page. But we're just going to do this one in English for now. So this is kind of a redo of the video that I did a minute ago. Today there's breaking news just right out of San Francisco on Thursday, November 30th. It's 5:45. There's breaking news out of San Francisco that a young, attractive American citizen woman who was shot and killed in San Francisco, that her killer, who is an undocumented immigrant, was cleared of charges of murder. And so this is going to cause a lot of news about immigration in the next couple of days. Trump is going to tweet about it. Fox News is going to go nuts. You're going to hear about it on Action News. And I just want to break it down and make sure everybody's clear about what happened and the charges and the facts and the surrounding circumstances of the incident. So, 2015, a man by the last name of Sergio Zarate was in the county jail for an unrelated charges, and he was in county jail in San Francisco, and he had served his time, and he was released by the county jail, by the sheriff's department in San Francisco, and released to go home and go wherever he wanted. And the reason he was released is because San Francisco is a sanctuary city. San Francisco is one of the first sanctuary cities. San Francisco is one of the strongest sanctuary cities, where they refuse to cooperate with ICE and immigration under any circumstance. So if ICE knows about somebody who is in the jail of San Francisco, San Francisco will refuse to cooperate with ICE, with immigration, with La Migra, and will not hand him over. They will not notify him when they are set to release him. They will not notify ICE when they are going to let him go free. And also, if ICE calls up and says, hold on to this guy for us, we want him, he's undocumented, he's committed crimes, San Francisco will not cooperate, they will not hand him over. San Francisco has been like this since 1994. It's a very strong policy, it's a very strict policy, and they use it in all circumstances. Now, this man was wanted by ICE. He had been deported before. He had been charged and convicted of, I think, a few drug crimes here in the United States. I don't think he had been charged and convicted of any violent crimes, but he had been charged and convicted of drug crimes. ICE wanted him. ICE wanted to deport him. He had been deported 5 times. He had come back to the United States many times as well. He was in the United States. Well, in July 2015, 2.5 years ago, on the Embarcadero in San Francisco, he found a gun that was lying under a park bench on a pier in a very popular place in San Francisco along the waterfront. He found a gun, picked up the gun went off, the gun bounced off the pavement or ricocheted off the pavement, bounced, and hit and struck in the body and killed a young U.S. citizen woman by the name of Kate Steinle. She was attractive, she was 25, she was a U.S. citizen, she was a gringa. And so here you have the story of an undocumented immigrant who was wanted by ICE, who had been deported before, who came back into the United States, who shot a gun that killed a U.S. citizen, young, attractive, 25-year-old woman. And so Fox News got this story, and all the news agencies got this story, and Trump got this story, and they blew it up into a big thing that undocumented immigrants are coming into the United States and shooting and killing and murdering U.S. citizens. And they used this story to get the gringos upset, to rile up the base, to get all the rednecks and the racists and the anti-immigration people and all the people who want the wall and all the people who want to make America great again. They use this story to perpetuate a lie, okay? The truth is this, that gun that the undocumented immigrant found, Sergio Zarate, belonged to a San Diego sheriff's deputy. That San Diego sheriff's deputy had driven to San Francisco for a conference or for a sheriff's event with his family in the sheriff's patrol car from San Diego all the way to San Francisco in the sheriff's patrol car with his family, parked the car in downtown San Francisco, went to a restaurant with his family and went inside to the restaurant and left his patrol car out on the street with a loaded gun in the patrol car. A loaded gun in the patrol car. They say that even if you have a gun in your house, you're not supposed to leave it loaded. You're not supposed to have your ammunition and your bullets near the gun for safety reasons. Well, this sheriff's deputy from San Diego, who drove his official vehicle for the sheriff's department, left in his car on a popular place in San Francisco a loaded gun. Guess what happened? Somebody broke into the car and looked through the car, the patrol car, stole the gun out, took it out, and it went missing. The sheriff didn't report it. He didn't make a story about it. He didn't want anybody to know. That same gun was found under a park bench by this undocumented immigrant, Sergio Zarate, a few days later after it was stolen. The undocumented immigrant, Sergio Zarate, picked up the gun. It was in a bag. He picked up the bag, and the gun was in the bag. He picked up the gun, and he was surprised to see it. And when people who don't know how to handle guns pick up guns, they tend to pick them up and immediately put their finger on the trigger. Well, this gun had a well-known and a well-established history and track record and malfunction history of going off or being fired or the bullets being fired out of the gun without the user, without the handler actually intending to fire it. The trigger was very sensitive and was very light and had a tendency to go off. Well, the gun did go off, and it bounced off the ground and hit this young lady in the middle of the day on the Embarcadero in a popular place in San Francisco, hit her, and the bullet, it's well established, it was established at trial that the bullet bounced off the ground and ricocheted and hit the girl in the body and killed her. Now, legally, there's a difference between murder and manslaughter. Now, murder is where you intend, where the person who is charged with murder, the immigrant in this case, is charged with murdering this girl. That means the district attorney of San Francisco charged him with intending, with wanting, with desiring, with the plan to kill this young lady, that he intended, that he had motivation, that he had a reason to kill this woman. Well, he didn't. The undocumented immigrant didn't, Sergio Zarate, he didn't know the girl. Okay, he had no reason to. It was a random person who was walking by. So the murder charge is not correct, and the district attorney thought that because this was a famous case, a famous trial, a famous victim, a beautiful victim, and a defendant, Sergio Zarate, who is not well liked, who is undocumented, who had been deported before, and they thought that they could get him convicted of murder. Okay, that's not what he did. He did not murder her. Did he pull a gun? Did he handle a weapon that went off and killed her accidentally? Yes. That is called involuntary manslaughter or manslaughter. Manslaughter is where you do something and you do something on accident, or you make a mistake, and that mistake causes somebody to die. That is what he did. He handled a weapon that he found that was lying there, that had been stolen, and he handled it incorrectly. He did not, it was not his, it wasn't registered to his name, it wasn't a gun that he had owned for years, it wasn't even a gun that he was walking out around on the street with. He found a gun. Now, how the gun got from the sheriff's, the deputy's patrol car to the Embarcadero under a park bench, that's anybody's guess. I don't know. I personally think there's a little bit of a conspiracy going on here, but nonetheless, he found the gun. He did not know the girl. He pulled the trigger, and it accidentally went off, and it accidentally killed this girl. A girl that the Sergio Zarate did not know, that he had no meeting with, and he had no reason to hurt, and it killed her. It's very sad. I feel very bad for the family. It's a horrible situation. Nobody disagrees with that. Nobody should die in that situation. I know that place very well. I've walked by it 100 times. It's very sad, but the district attorney of San Francisco charged Sergio Zarate incorrectly. They should not have charged him with murder. They should have charged him with involuntary manslaughter. That is simply make a mistake with a gun, with a weapon that happens to kill somebody. If they had charged him with that, they probably would have convicted him. They charged him with murder, and the Sergio Zarate, the undocumented immigrant, had a very good public defender by the name of Matt Gonzalez. Matt Gonzalez is a very smart, very experienced, very hardworking, very honest public defender in the San Francisco office who ran for mayor of San Francisco back in the early 2000s. I campaigned for him and I met him a few times, and he's a great guy and a great person and very smart and very hardworking. He did the right thing here. Now, the jury today, after about 4 or 5 days of deliberation in their closed room, after talking about it, came to the decision, and they came to the right decision, to not convict Sergio Zarate of murder. And so Sergio Zarate, I don't know if he's going to walk free. ICE is probably going to want him. I don't know if they're going to be waiting outside the jail, if they're posting officers just waiting for him to be released and then grab him. They'll probably do that. But the jury today came to the right decision. Now, you're not going to hear about this. You're going to hear that crazy San Francisco and crazy California and crazy sanctuary cities are to blame for all of this. You're going to hear Trump go crazy. Trump is going to go nuts. Fox News is going to go nuts. That stupid Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, they're going to go crazy. If Bill O'Reilly was on TV, he would go nuts. Every gringo, white gringo, redneck, hillbilly is going to go nuts today because of this. And they're going to blame San Francisco. They're going to blame sanctuary cities. They're going to blame California. They're going to blame Democrats. They're going to blame liberals. They're going to blame progressives. They're going to blame undocumented immigrants. And they're going to say, look, this is what happens when you have a sanctuary city. This is what happens when you have liberals. This is why we need to build the wall. This is why we don't want undocumented immigrants or any immigrants in the United States, because they kill and they murder our beautiful young U.S. citizen children. And that's just not the case. Anybody who knows about immigration knows that immigrants and undocumented immigrants are involved in crime at a lower rate than their U.S. citizen counterparts. Now, I think Trump and ICE and immigration and La Migra are going to respond to this news with enhanced and enforced and more raids and more enforcement procedures and tactics, and that we could see raids in San Francisco and California stepped up as a result of this, and Trump is going to punish San Francisco and California and the North Central Valley where I work, and I think that's going to happen as a result. You're going to hear about laws passed. You're going to hear about the Steinle law passed or proposed, and it's going to be very sad. This is an unfortunate thing. I'm not saying that the family is at fault and that this isn't a horrible tragedy. I would feel horrible if my daughter was murdered out on the Embarcadero, as would anybody. But the problem here was not the public defender, and it wasn't the sanctuary cities. It was that the charges were incorrectly filed by the district attorney. They charged him with murder. They should have charged him with involuntary manslaughter, and they would have gotten convicted if they did that. Again, we're going to post this on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and thank you for watching. If you have any questions, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in the future in Spanish. Thank you for watching. As always, my name is Andrew Hawley. I'm the immigration attorney, the attorney for immigrants in Chico, California. Please give me a call. Please share this video. You can call me anytime, 530-715-2300. Thank you.